a formidable logistics business. If you think about Transnet 10 years ago and Transnet now, the two different companies. 10 years ago, we had passengers, we had travel agencies, Connex, we had VMAX, we had all sorts of businesses in there. We had SAA, which was a big loss maker in Transnet stable. And now the company is a focused logistics, freight logistics company. And I'm quite comfortable that I join at the period where we just need to consolidate what has been achieved over the last 10 years.
You mentioned in your commentary to the results that there are pockets of excellence, and we'll get onto those in a moment. But the thing that jumps out still at many people in South Africa, because it's so obvious, is the difficulties that Transnet is going through, that the railways are going through.
The railways are at the moment a big challenge, but I think we can overcome all those challenges because we've had years of underinvestment in the railways, no maintenance. We've had some spectacular derailments, which are unheard of in countries like Germany and so on. But it is something that we're going to be dealing with. But the biggest problem with our railways in relation to the South African economy is that it's reliability. Customers do not know when their goods are going to arrive, where they're supposed to go. So that is the first thing that we're going to fix. We want to have a scheduled railway and scheduled maintenance, but a railway that if you put your container with us and we tell you that it's going to be in Durban tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it does get there at 5 o'clock or before.
How are you going to do that, Brian?
Reliability. You know, we're going to have scheduled trains. But more importantly, even with a scheduled train, it is important to tell customers at what time the goods will be there, even if the time that you have allowed is very generous. So customers don't mind that it takes 10 hours for a train to move from Johannesburg to Durban. But if you say that the goods will be there in 24 hours, which is 14 hours later than 10 hours, they are happy because they can plan. They know that in 24 hours the goods will be there. At the moment, we can't even tell customers when their goods are going to be where they're supposed to be. So the difference between us and road is that although we have the competitive advantage with respect to price, so we can transport goods cheaper, we are not able to give customers reliability. And they are quite very prepared to pay more on road so that they can get the certainty. They know that if a truck leaves Johannesburg now, it will be in Durban tomorrow morning at 10 in the morning, even if the driver has to sleep in Harrismith or wherever, but they have certainty. So that is the thing that we need to introduce. If we can introduce certainty, the movement from road to rail is very easy because customers can plan, and rail is already cheaper than road. As it is.
That's a very interesting point, because the Moy River Index, which I'm sure you also keep a note of, shows that there's a continued swing away from rail to road. In fact, it's running at 26% higher on freight on the N3 between Durban and Johannesburg at the moment. How long will it take for you to start reversing that market share loss, I suppose, is how you can put it?
Now, I'm quite confident that we can reverse it. I mean, the easier way of doing it is by doing it by decree. And the Minister of Transport has already suggested that maybe we should make a law that says you must use rail. But we are not going to rely on that. We are going to work very hard at convincing our customers that if you put your goods with us and we promise you that they will be at a certain place, they will be there at that particular point in time. And that is very important. And it's going to take time for people to gain the confidence back. But we're going to do all in our power to make sure that people regain that confidence in the rail system.
You remember when Coleman Andrews came in, he left South African Airways with a very spotty record. But the one thing he did do at South African Airways was he got the planes to run on time. Is that the same kind of a strategy that you are looking at here, to just get the trains running on time?
It's the very same thing. And, you know, the way that they do it at SAA is that it takes 45 minutes for an aeroplane to fly from Johannesburg to the new airport. It used to be 50 minutes to the old airport. But what they do, if you look at your ticket, they give themselves about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So when they arrive there, after 1 hour, the pilot proudly says, ladies and gentlemen, we're 20 minutes early. And so everybody is happy, and nobody notices that, in fact, they are 15 minutes late in terms of the capability of the aeroplane. And people are just quite happy to be 20 minutes early or 5 minutes early if the plane arrives after 1 hour and 15 minutes. So it's a similar kind of thing. People want certainty. What people don't want is for you to say that you're going to take 45 minutes from here to Durban and then arrive after 50 minutes. Now that 5 minutes, it irritates them. And so that is and I think that is how Coleman Andrews dealt with it. You define the arrival time so that people can plan around it, and you can build in as much fat as you like in terms of delays and so on, as long as you give people the certainty that they want, or certainty or better. So people don't care how long it takes to take a container to Durban. They just want to know that tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon, they can go and pick up their container.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brian, when you have a look at the financials of this big group that you're running, and you are a financial man, to get an EBITDA margin of 41% is extraordinary. Is that the kind of profit margins that one sees from transport companies around the world?
I think that, it is broadly in line, because freight logistics is quite a profitable business. But going forward, in the next 5 years, we think that the EBITDA margin will even improve further to close to 50% once the benefits from our infrastructure investments kick in.
And I suppose that gives you the capacity, in fact, to invest more. So
that gives
you are
us
more profitable, you can invest more, and it's
exactly.
a virtuous circle.
Yes, yes.
Interesting, when I spoke with the DG of